Okay, we are live here on Facebook. Um, I was just finished a podcast with Streamline Lending with Romney Navarro. We know Romney for ever since we started the business. Romney was a very good host. Wealth of knowledge. We learn a lot from him every time we talk, and this is what he taught me. So Streamline Lending is a funding company, right? So if you're in the real estate investment world, um, to make a profit, you need to find the right deal, and you also need to find a source of funding. And so and kind of do the two together, right? Of course, you can use all your cash and buy the deal and fix it up. But sometimes it's smarter to leverage somebody else's money and pay for that access to that funding. And you can, with the same cash, you can do more projects instead of one at a time. Some people may agree with it. Some people may not. Like if you are more risky, you're going to want to have a lot of those projects and do a lot of projects at the same time. And you're going to make more money, right? If you're a little more risk averse, you're going to use more of your cash and take a little less risk, and then your profit is going to be, or how much you make is going to be a little bit less. It's all about risk and reward. It's all about risk and reward at the end of the day. So on the market, there are different types of funding that you can get. I hope I just realized my headphone is on, so I hope we were able to capture those what I was trying to say. But talking about funding is that how do you get funding? So kind of typically, if you have a very good deal, you can find lenders that are willing to lend to you based on the asset, right? So in real estate, it's actually really cool because when you're starting a business, you're not going to have a bank willing to lend you a lot of money when you don't have a lot of that business credit, right? It's what we call a business credit. When your business is young, it doesn't have business credit, and the bank is not willing to lend you money unless you have a lot of assets in the business. So real estate happens to be that. So if you buy a house and you put 20% down and you borrow 80% from the bank is basically funding 80% of that particular deal. And so that's kind of conventional lending. You also find what are called hard money lenders. And so what the hard money lenders can provide for you is that they look at the house, right? They go, hey, I don't care about your credit score. I don't care about anything about you. I only care about this house that you are trying to flip, for example. And if it's a good deal, if the house is actually going to be worth this much after you fix it up, and there's enough margin in there, I'm going to lend you, a big percentage to how much it's going to worth. It's not how much it's going to worth today, but how much it's going to be worth when it is done. So these are the specialized lenders for the real estate investment business. And so they're specialized, so their interest rate is going to be higher. They're going to charge a kind of loan origination fee, right? Making sure this is a loan that makes sense for them. So that's how they make money, right? But it's always good, right? So if you're just starting, you go, oh, I don't want to spend money. You got to spend money in order to make money. You always have to do that. You can't make money when you make money with just your time. It's called work. It's called job, right? And so you are always gonna be taking on expenses most of the time if you want to grow. So get over that that mental block. You need to spend money to make money, and so these folks are here that they are adding value to the market. and you got to pay for that value. So from your standpoint, you want to, the most important thing is to find a very good partner who can make sure that you are embarking in the right project, a reputable one, and also working with folks that's going to add value to you. I think especially when you're just starting, having a good reputable hard money lender on your side, and they can kind of help you make sure that it's a good deal. That's a lot of value there, especially when you're just starting off. You want to know how good your own analysis is comparing to the hard money lenders, right? They are the ones that have the money, right? They're not going to lend it to you if it's a bad deal. So that would be an ultimate guideline to tell you, hey, if they're willing to lend me the money, it's probably a good deal. So when it comes to that, okay, so the folks that are starting, their hard money is gonna be an option, right? A very big option, especially when you don't have a lot of projects under your belt. Hard money lenders are willing to bring you in and lend money to you based on the deal. And as you continue to build up your resume, you got more and more contracts and more successful contracts. You are going to be able to negotiate the interest rates down and the origination fees down and all that stuff, right? So and hard money lenders typically do that. They offer it to the more experienced real estate investors because the risk is lower, right? The first time you're doing it, the risk is higher, right? So they are betting on just the deal itself, and they're also betting on you. They're betting on how good you are. Do you have the grit? Do you have what it takes to make it happen, or are you gonna quit? I think I would say that's gonna be the key thing. And, this is what Romney shared with me. He says, if you need funding, there are three things. There are three takeaways. He's gonna share it at the real estate talk also, so I'm gonna steal away from his thunder a little bit. But this is what I learned today, right? So I want to share with you communications, right? If you're taking somebody else's money, you got to communicate with them how everything is going. You need to have transparency, right? Transparency in your communication, and you need to have performance, right? So what happens is when you get the loan, you're not getting the whole amount. They're gonna give it to you based on the completion of the projects, and that's the right way to do it, right? That's a very prudent way of business. I mean, I wouldn't want to just give somebody the $100,000 and they can do whatever they want. I'm gonna go, okay, I'm gonna give you this much. Let's see how much you can do based on here, and then when you're done with it, let me give you more. So as a flipper, those are kind of the cash flow things that you need to make sure that you manage. You need to want to make sure you have enough money to pay for all the stuff, and while the new money comes in, and it requires a lot of teamwork between you and your funding partner. So having a strong relationship with a funding partner, at least one funding partner, is crucial. So shop around, right? Always as entrepreneurs, we want to be the smartest shopper. We want to buy the best product out there. We want to build the best relationships. So those are all the homeworks that you need to do. Cool. So I wanted to share with you that piece of lesson for funding. And then now let's talk about productivity. So I'll share with you. I like sharing my mistakes because mistakes is how you learn, right? And I'm kind of unabashed in sharing my mistakes. It's always good to I don't need to be the all power being like I do everything right. I want to share my mistakes because making mistakes is human. And we're all trying to learn from those mistakes and trying to get better. So the mistake that I made was at a recent talk I had. My goal was trying to be more motivational and try to get people to get more fired up and do more actions, right? Take actions and make things happen. And I ask people, and I maybe it came off a little bit differently than I expected. But kind of what I wanted to talk about from a motivation standpoint is, do you have trouble getting up in the morning? I had a lot of trouble getting up in the morning before. Um, and there are two periods. The first period is when the business was just starting, and we only had a beta product, right? And it works, right? It did a very good job for the folks that are using it, and the people that are experiencing the pain of needing to find deals on the MLS, and it takes so much time. It saves them a lot of work, a ton of work. But the market was very targeted. So I would say my closing rate was pretty good. We were doing online demo or online one-on-one meetings, and my conversion rate was 50%. Right, every two, I'll get one. I'll get one to sign up because they see the value of it. I think in the early days, I think that's a fantastic conversion rate. Even right now, that's our guideline for our salespeople. I just told them, hey man, back in the days we had this kind of product and this kind of infrastructure, and I got 50%. So you need to at least beat that 50%. You need to be bigger than that. You need to be much stronger in terms of making it happen. And it's about how you drive the sales, right? But anyway, so when we were just starting, but remember, every yes, I also got a no. I guess the 50%. If you have less conversion rate, then you're gonna get more no's than a yes, and those no's, if you don't know how to process the no's correctly, it hits you like bam, like every no is a rejection, and it's like, oh man, it must be me. And there, like, is this a good product? Are we good enough to keep growing the way that we have always envisioned? Every time you hit a little bit of, I guess, a roadblock. You always, we don't think about, we don't doubt all the time, but like when when the downtime is like really down, you really think about like, oh, is this the right thing to do? Like, there's no existing business model out there for this business. Like, are we even doing the right thing? And so it's a little bit depressing, So I was reading this article about founders' depression. It's a real thing. I had a buddy that was starting a commercial real estate software company at the time, and he was depressed, and there's a lot of up and downs. But I think it has more to do with the fact that it's a startup company that doesn't have a proven business model. I think it's more that than, say, like if you're doing real estate investments, right? People are already making money, right? Maybe your doubt is going to be like, am I cut out for this, right? Maybe that would be your doubt, but like, that you can make money if you're going to get good at it. So it's all about just motivation and doing it and activity, right? And keep doing the right execution and keep executing, right? Even if you do it wrong, you execute it and you chase it all the way down, and you're going to learn something, and then you're going to improve and you're going to get better, right? It's all about being better than who we are today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be a better Steve than today. And today, I think I'm a better Steve than yesterday, because I just learned the 3 nuggets of knowledge from Romney: communications, transparency, and performance. So it's hard to get up, right? In the beginning, when you're hitting a lot of, and then I think in the middle was when we were working really hard and we were doing a lot of late nights. In the morning, it's like hard to get up because you just don't have enough sleep. And sometimes you're so burned out that you want to just kind of take a day off. So I have had that, as recently as just beginning of this year, just kind of burning myself out. And I think, that's not the wrong long term. That's not the right way to do it, and it's not a good long term solution. So I have made that switch, and take things a little bit, not take it too easy, but at least understanding that this is a long term game. So I need to get up in the morning to work out, right, and have a healthy lifestyle. So then I do work, and then I take a little time as an outlet to share with the world, and I think my days are very good right now. But anyway, so productivity, right? So when you have trouble getting up, how are you going to do it? And my mistake was that I was trying to be motivational, and I tried to, and I asked people, how many of you still have trouble waking up? And there's like one or two people in a big group of almost 100 people, and they raise their hands. And I didn't mean to kind of call them out, but I also, I guess, because winging it is type of my style. And so I didn't quite necessarily have like, oh, what should I do if I have trouble getting up? So here it is. I wanna share that. So if I have trouble getting up, what is the best thing I can do? So kind of the key thing is you want to understand why, right? Are you tired? Are you depressed? What is it in life that is kind of making you not want to get up? Is it if you're tired, then you know that you need to sleep a little better. You need to sleep more. You need to make sure. But in the beginning, like I swear, I was sleeping like 8 hours, and I still want to sleep, keep sleeping because I was depressed. Right, that's a founder's depression. And so the way to get out of it, I think, is activities. It's just doing a lot execution. So if you are just starting right now and you don't know how to get started, what are some of the things that I got to do? Well, you got to come up with a plan, right? If you don't know what you need to do, then you don't have enough knowledge. So the goal is you need to gain the knowledge, learn the information, and learn and gain the education as much as possible. We have a lot of allies that are very good educators in real estate investment, and we strongly recommend those. We want to continue to only partner with reputable folks with the right mindset, because they're gonna get you ready and get you going much faster if you get the knowledge very quickly. After the knowledge, then you know what to do, and now you got to practice, right? Practice, practice, practice. And when you're gaining the knowledge, that's also a good time to start practicing. So do all the things and all the activities that you need to do to practice. So, and then when you start practicing and when you are ready, you're gonna go and do it, and you're gonna have those actual execution activities, and there's a stake in the game, and that's like every day. If you're gonna flip a home, or if you're gonna like let's think about everything as a business, right? Every business has a burn rate, even if you're just starting by yourself, and you still got to pay yourself a salary. So there's a burn rate every single day that your business is happening. As long as your business is in existence, in existence, you are burning cash every day. If you got a house you're flipping, you're burning cash every day, right? If you have a staff, you got overheads every day, every single day. That, I think, is a key thing, where like if you're not productive, you're not creating things, you're burning cash, you're wasting time, right? And that's I would say a very good one, right? When you're in that stage, before you get started, right? Just fill it up with activities. If you got to learn a lot of things, learn it. Set a goal to learn it as fast as you can. Take your time, it's up to you, but set goals, right? If you have a full-time job, man, you're only working 8 hours, right? 10 hours. maybe 12 hours. If you're working the ones that takes up a lot of your time, they better be paying you very well, and giving you a lot of good compensation for that. But if you're watching this and you are thinking about getting yourself out of that rat race, and being on your own, I believe the key is setting goals. It's always goal setting, and maybe step back away from your job, right? Just go, hey, I'm just gonna do just enough to do this because I know that this is no longer worth my efforts, right? It's not a long-term game. The long-term game is betting on myself. When you're ready to make that transition, then just set goals. Start setting goals, right? Start scaling back from work and start planning on spending more time in how you can improve yourself. Okay, how do I improve myself? Well, there are 8 hours of work. There are 24 hours a day. I need to sleep for 8 hours. And I probably need to spend time eat and groom myself for, let's say, 4 hours, right? That still gives me 4 hours, 4 productive, very productive hours I can use to learn whatever I need to learn to be the best I can be, or to do the new things that I'm trying to do. I'm betting on myself, right? So keep improving yourself. And if you have the luxury of having enough savings, right, and you're ready to make that jump, then you can start full-time doing it. And when you're full-time and you have more consistent efforts, you're gonna make things happen a lot faster, right? Productivity or execution, it's all about consistency. You need consistent effort doing it every single day. And when you can do that, you can make a lot of big difference out there, right? So this, just think about it. If you pay attention, if you're dieting, right, you're paying attention to your weight and you measure your weight every day and you're like running and working out every day, your weight is going to come down and you're going to become more healthy. Your lifestyle becomes naturally more healthy. You pay more attention to it. So it's all about paying attention to it and making a conscious effort and prioritizing it, right? So if it's near the top of your priority, you're gonna spend more time doing it, and you're gonna consistently spend more time doing it, and that's how you make it happen. One thing I mentioned that in the beginning, like you don't feel as good, you're more. I got the founder's depression. Like it's not like a deep depression. It's just like, kind of up and down type of depression. And the one thing that got us out of it is it doesn't matter how many no's we hear, we always do it. We consistently do it because success happens when you're consistently doing it. It doesn't matter about my emotions, whether I'm feeling good or feeling bad. I gotta consistently do it. I gotta consistently do it. Do it every day. And very soon you're gonna look back and go, wow, look how much I have grown. Look how much we have grown. Every month we look back, we always go, wow, we have achieved so much as a team because of consistent effort from everybody. And so that brings us to the true productivity, right? So activity would lead to busyness, and then now when you're busy, you got to make sure you have the right productivity. And so there are there are two kinds of productivity problems. The first one is low productivity because of low morale. That is a big problem, right? If you have a low work morale within the team, how can you bring up their productivity? Well, you got to fix what's in their head. You got to fix what their needs are. You need to provide the right needs. The same thing for you, right? I'm managing myself. I'm the manager of myself and my own times and my activities and all that stuff. If I'm not being productive, right, I need to hold myself accountable, and I got figure out why, right? Why am I watching TV? I have so much stuff to do. Why am I watching this TV show? Is it because I'm trying to learn something from the TV show? Is it because I'm burnt out? Is it because the show is really interesting and like it teaches me some kind of life lesson. Like I better find a good justification and a good reason, right, for doing that activity, and then find out that why and fix that why. Maybe it is a really good show, and I want to learn more about TV productions. You know, I just recently started a show, um, and I'm spending a little time watching it in the evenings, and I'm paying a lot of attention to how they make their wardrobe, and so I guess I got some interest in there. But in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, man, I should be spending this time creating more content and creating more classes, right? So between giving my brain a break and enjoying myself and doing productive work for the company, you know, striking that balance is very important. And I'm also kind of trying to I mentioned in the previous episodes that we're about to make that big push, and I'm kind of procrastinating that a little bit because I'm trying to rest up because it's gonna take my full attention. I may not even be doing this every day when I'm doing it, because when you're in it, when you are surrounding yourself in that atmosphere and you're super creative, you want to just keep doing it. And I know I have that tendency. So I'm trying to delay that piece just a little bit, but very soon I'm gonna feel like, man, I really need to keep going. I don't feel productive enough. Okay, so is it low morale, or is this some kind of psychological thing, or is it because your processes in your company is not conducive to productivity? So, for example, we just moved from using Google Drive. We have a business account with Google, and it's very good for emails and stuff. But for Google Drive, we were trying to use it as a centralized location to store our communication, like spreadsheets. You know, we were communicating through spreadsheets and stuff. We used Trello before. We're still using it for engineering, but like, you know, we didn't quite, at least for marketing, for the marketing standpoint, I didn't like Trello as much until they create a more project management oriented feature, and I think we were waiting for that. So we were kind of waiting for that, and then we got introduced to Asana by Steve Rosenberg. It's very good to be hanging out with our peers, because our peers are often doing things that are smarter than what you're doing, and then you go, oh, okay, let me learn that from you. Thank you so much. And because when we have an abundance mindset, we share what we know, because you know we wanna grow, and we also want everybody else to grow around us. We're helping everybody grow, and then we can keep learning from each other. So I've learned a lot from observing Steve's organization, and we're gonna have him join us at our real estate talk next Monday. So we're looking forward to his talk. So we got introduced to Asana, and we started moving everybody to Asana. So now with Asana, not only, oh, and let me share with you the pain point, right? The pain point is we were communicating through email. And when you're getting so many emails, everybody's getting so many emails, the emails start falling through the crack, and it's hard to find it again. You know, we have that inbox flooding problem. My company inbox has over 1,500 unread emails. I always scan it, right? If it's a client email or if it's something important, I read it. But if it's something like some kind of Asana notification and stuff, I'm not reading it right now. So there's a lot of email. And what else? The Steve at realestateiq.co email, you know, because we also get marketing emails and stuff. And like I said, I only read the emails from our clients. So I make sure we're giving them good service, right? And all the important ones. I have over 5,600 emails, and my personal one, I think we have 65,000 unread emails. Using email to keep track of how things are going is 48. I have a total of 75,000 emails personally, and I have over 48,000. So, so too many emails. Email is like clogging our brain, and the way for us to really keep track of the things that we got to do to keep moving our projects is to have a dedicated platform that gives us dedicated notifications about those tasks themselves that are essential to the project. So we're able to kind of separate kind of the work on Asana and then all the communications on email, and we can communicate about the projects through Asana, and that helps. And Asana has a project management tool that I'm trying to get our team to get better at using, and that is a big factor, I would say, in because we have a team of, I think, about 8 people on our marketing team, and so having good communications is now crucial to business. In the beginning, if it's one person, 2 people, like you can communicate very easily. When you have more people, communication and making sure we have the right status updates and all that stuff takes work. But it's a very important one, because the more everybody knows how everything is going and everyone is moving, if we all know where we're going and everyone is going towards the same goal, and we all know everybody is doing their part to keep moving, then we can eliminate a lot of those bottlenecks. We can make the projects happen a lot faster. Combined with the fact that we have such a great team to make things happen, so we're very happy with where we are right now, and we're very happy about how fast we're going and how fast we're going to where we want to be. And we're gonna, after we get to where we want to be by the end of this year, and we're gonna have another huge goal to keep moving, right? As a team, we want to keep growing, and the way to do that, and that goes to our next point on teamwork, is that everybody has strengths. Whenever you have a team, right? A team is defined as 3 people, right? And actually, even with 2 people, you still have one person that's better at these things, and the other person very, very good at the other things. There's always that partnership. And so I think a team is anything more than just you. Anything, any time we have more than 2 people or more than one person, we got to think about teamwork. How can we have better teamwork by having no ego, right? No ego about ourselves and our intelligence, and have the best person on the team do those most important things. For example, we have one person that's dedicated at becoming better and better at social media marketing. And as soon as they get better, we're going to need a specialist that gets better at each platform. So how much I know, and how, the idea is that, man, I don't want to be the best person. I don't want to be the best player on my team, especially when you're leading a team. I'm just going to be the coach, and I'm going to be a standing back, and I got to be the cheerleader, right? You guys are doing great. You guys are learning this much, and then the next step, you got to do this. So we just keep setting a career path, or setting a development path for them to keep getting better and becoming a better and better player. I think this year I'm learning to become a better coach. So I can stop being a player. So we're in the process of doing that, and then we have each player getting very good at something. So it's like a basketball team. Like, actually, a football team is much better. I have the center. I have my job, right? And I have the left and right guard, and I have my job. I'm very focused in being very good at my job. I have a quarterback, and the quarterback is very good at that job, at being the quarterback. And then I have the wide receivers, and they're very good at running, right? And so a center and a wide receiver, the body shape is very different, the talent is different, but they are all valuable parts of the team. And so, how can you recognize those talents and nurture those talents, and make sure that everybody is working and communicating with each other, right? So everybody has something that they're good at, and they're going to keep getting better, and they're going to be leading the team in that frontier, right? They're going to be the best receiver they're going to be. They're going to be the best. This guy is going to be the best center that he can be, and maybe best center in the world. And so we keep nurturing that, and they're going to keep getting better. And how do we motivate them to keep getting better, right? So that's the key thing. And then the other thing is for the team to recognize about each other's talents and how they can work amongst each other, because in a play, right, when you're watching the game, you can see that the coach is calling a play, right, but how everybody communicate with each other to make that play happen is crucial. And so nurturing that type of communication and that kind of teamwork and resolving any differences is, I would say, a key part of having and growing and keep building an effective team. Cool. So that's all I want to share with. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Stay tuned. This is still quite unstructured, so I don't know if I'm going to be sharing like every single day or just kind of the weekdays. I think I'm able to commit to weekdays, but maybe not necessarily weekends, because I gotta value family time. So something like that, and I don't know if I can commit to doing this every day either. But every time we do it, I want to give you guys as much value as possible, right? Unabridged version of uh, of things that you need to be thinking about to keep growing and building your business. Cool. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I am going to stop the live stream here. Oh, wait, it's this one. Boom.